today I'm going to tell you why I quit, and you should too. Alright guys, here we go. We did not do an Ask Angie last week, but we are doing one this week, and this is one that I am really excited to talk to you guys about. I'm pretty passionate about this as it's something that has really strongly and deeply affected me over time, and today I'm going to tell you why I quit, and you should too. Now you might be asking yourself, Angie, what the heck are you talking about? You quitting YouTube? What are you quitting? Like what are you quitting? You're just gonna like run away from home? You're not gonna be a mom anymore? You're not gonna be married anymore? No. What we're talking about today is staying in your lane and quitting all of these other things that are not serving you, that are not getting you to the place that you want to be, and are only making you feel bad about yourself all the time. Let me give you some examples of what I'm talking about. So, my postpartum journey. As most of you guys know, if you followed along, I gained over 50 pounds when I was pregnant with the twins. I was mahusive, as my sister likes to say. I was mahusive, and I was really miserable. Every part of my body was not functioning well. I was in constant pain. I understand that women gain different amounts of weight during pregnancy, and I was not just laying around eating bonbons and gaining weight. It was a very difficult pregnancy. But at the end of the pregnancy, I really found myself just like daydreaming about what it would ever be like to be in a sound, working, functioning body again. What would that feel like? What would I do if I could walk down the street without being winded? What would I do if I could bend over without throwing up? What would I do if I could eat a decent meal, or eat what was healthy instead of the only things that I could keep down? And I started saying all these things to myself, like, when this pregnancy is over, I'm never going to take my body for granted again, ever. Even if it doesn't look the way that it used to, even if it doesn't operate the same way, even if I can't ever run a half marathon, even if I can't ever, I'm just never going to be cruel to my body again. This is amazing what it has done, and this pregnancy has been so hard. The things that I've asked of this body and what it has given me in return is incredible, and I'm never gonna beat it up again. And then what happened? I had my babies, and you know, we live in this world of social media. I knew lots of other women that were pregnant around the same time as me, some also having twins. And what started happening was, after the twins were born, I started really sort of unconsciously but also consciously paying attention. Oh, she already lost all of her baby weight. Oh, look at how good she looks. She didn't get any stretch marks. Oh wow, she's 6 weeks postpartum and she's already in the gym. Or she's 3 weeks postpartum and she's already working out. Wow, like, okay. And I started feeling bad about myself. I started thinking that what I was doing wasn't good enough, that I wasn't losing the weight fast enough. And all of that, like, self-love I gave myself, all of that, like, I'm never gonna do that to myself again, just started getting a little bit washed away in this sort of self-created hamster wheel that I was jumping on that said, well, those women look like this, or they're doing that, and I should too. And so I found myself once again being displeased with my body, not happy with what it was doing, and not to say fully feeling that way, but like a part of me was feeling that way. And one day I came across some pictures on my phone of myself when I think I was like 9 weeks pregnant, when I was in the hospital, and I had been on like 3 intense rounds of steroids, a bunch of IV treatments, the PICC line with TPN, and in the 10 days I was in the hospital, I had put on 40 pounds of fluid that was just sitting all over my body. And when I looked at the picture of myself then, and then looked at myself in the mirror, it was a stark difference of the health. Not just the appearance. I mean, obviously when you are 40 pounds swollen of fluid, you look a little bit crazy. But the health, the difference in what I could do then and what I can do now. And I just had a moment where I went, you have got to stay in your lane. It does not matter if that girl is back in her skinny jeans in 2 weeks. It does not matter if she can run a marathon at 6 weeks postpartum and you can't. Your journey is your journey. It is only for you. It is for no one else. And we have to be able to give ourselves grace. And we have to be able to, I heard Jessica Connolly talk a few years ago about taking yourself out of the running. And she said at that time, she was talking a lot about body image and stuff. And she said, the reality is I'm never going to be a fitness model. Like for me, I'm never going to look like the mom who can go put on a bikini and people will be like, oh my gosh, wow, it doesn't even look like you had kids. That's not true. I'm covered in stretch marks. I have cellulite. My body is stretched in places, and it's never going to look like I didn't have kids. So why torment ourselves by constantly comparing ourselves to something we absolutely couldn't do even if we wanted to? And so she talked about taking yourself out of the running. I'm taking myself out of the running for being the best mom that ever lived. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fall flat on my face, and I'm going to have to ask my children for forgiveness and grace, just like they will for me. I take myself out of the running of being the mom who cooks all the perfectly healthy organic meals. Sometimes I feed my kids frozen chicken nuggets on paper plates. It doesn't change the fact that I love my children and I take good care of them, but sometimes we have to take ourselves out of the running. I take myself out of the running for having the perfectly curated Instagram feed that looks like something out of a magazine, where me and all my kids just look perfect all the time. I think those feeds are beautiful to look at, and sometimes I feel the temptation that mine should look like that too. But I take myself out of the running because that is not my life. That is not how I connect with you guys. I don't connect with you guys by showing you perfection and telling you you should try to aspire to live like me. That's not how that's not how we communicate with each other. And so it wouldn't be real if I constantly posted pictures like that and made my feed look like that. It wouldn't be true to me, and it wouldn't be true to our relationship. And I think a few years ago, I wrote a blog post about this on my dead blog that doesn't exist anymore, so I can't share it with you. But it was about an article I had read that said that the modern woman, with all that we have going on, can only do 3 to 5 things at a time well. So that means if you want to do a pretty good job at being a mom, at being a wife, at being a student, at being a chef, at being a homeschool teacher, at being a runner, at being a businesswoman, at being a writer, selling lip scents, at selling Rodan and Fields, at selling Tupperware. I mean, whatever it is, you can only do 3 to 5 things really well. And that really caused me to pause and go, what are my 3 to 5 things? Because I have a lot of children, I have a husband, I have a job, I have hobbies I enjoy. What are the 3 to 5 that win out for me? And so I would encourage you that if you are struggling today, feeling overwhelmed and like you just can't do it all, to sit down and write down a list of all the things that you do and all the things that you try to be good at. You know, do you like to garden? Do you like to sew? You know, whatever the things are you super into fashion and you're constantly trying to put together new looks, into makeup, and you're always working on that? Maybe you have a YouTube channel. Maybe you have a blog. Maybe you are a photographer or you want to be a photographer, so you're practicing that. Write down all of those things. And then you have to trim that list down and prioritize it to 3 to 5. And I think the big difference between people being able to manage 3 to 5 would be your support system at home, whether or not your spouse is supportive of the things that you're doing, as well as number of children and age of children, independence of children. If you have, 3 under 3, I think you're probably going to be closer to the end of needing to pick just 3 things instead of 5. Know what I'm saying? Or if you've just recently had a baby, if you're 6 weeks postpartum, maybe just like hang in the 3s, and that can just be that you're really good at brushing your teeth, taking a shower once a week, and keeping your baby alive. So these things have been transformative for me in being able to stay in my lane and look around me and say, that's so cool that she's doing that. But that doesn't mean that I have to do it too. Right? It's so cool that this person is launching this new business, that this person is training for this or working really hard at, their Beachbody business. But it doesn't mean that I have to do it too, right? And it doesn't mean that you have to do it too. Just because someone else is doing something successfully doesn't make it part of your lane, part of your story, anywhere close to your wheelhouse of things that you should that you should be doing. Like I've said, for me, I love running. It's like therapeutic for me. Training for a half marathon. But outside of running, I am not going to look at someone who is super, super fit, bounce a quarter off their butt and be like, oh, I just really wish that I had her butt. Well, guess what? I'm not gonna go to the gym as much as she goes to the gym. Would I ever get my butt to bounce a quarter off of it again? Sure, at some point, but that's not in my lane right now. It's not in my lane, okay? So there you have it. That's it. I mean, I just quit, and you should too. I quit trying to be perfect at everything. I quit trying to be perfect at anything, but I quit trying to be the best at all kinds of things that are, quite frankly, none of my business to be the best at. It's not anything I need to concern myself with. And so when you are able to put those blinders on and just stay in your lane and focus on the things that are important for you and your family and your goals and your future specifically, when you can put those blinders on, I think it gives you so much more peace, and you are really, really able to do those things well when you really kind of narrow down what those things are that matter to you to do really, really well. All right, so hopefully you found some encouragement in today's Ask Angie. This is something I'm constantly, tossing around up here in my brain and wanting to be better and do better and wanting to encourage you guys too in the same ways. Because I have been traveling, and if you've been following along, we are doing a fun little segment with, like a fun little video with today.com. Like from the Today Show, today.com. I haven't had time to prepare like my favorite book, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. And I want to be able to do justice to anybody that I share. I don't just want to like randomly plop somebody out there. But next week, in my next Ask Angie, I will have recommendations for you guys. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And if you know another mama, another woman, another friend at college, another friend in high school, I know I have viewers kind of in all age ranges, but if you know another woman, lady, girl, sister, friend who needs to hear this today, please feel free to share this video with her. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments if this is a place you've gotten to, and maybe what are your 3 to 5 things that you're really gonna focus on. If you've given that some thought and you know what they are, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. That's it for this week. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for spending your very precious time with me. It really does mean a lot to me that you would take time out of your day to sit down and watch one of my videos. I hope you leave here a little more encouraged this week, and I will see you guys again very soon. Bye.